Have you ever walked off a football pitch wondering what happened to you? Because 3 days earlier, in training, you felt unstoppable. Your first touch was sharp. Your passes were clean. You were confident. You were beating players. Everything felt natural. Then match day arrived, and suddenly you looked like a completely different player. Simple passes became difficult. You hesitated. Your touch felt heavier. Your decisions felt slower. And afterward, you're left asking the same question thousands of footballers ask themselves every week. Why can't I play in matches the way I play in training? Most players answer that question incorrectly. They think they're nervous, or lacking confidence, or not talented enough. But what if your skills aren't disappearing at all? What if the match is simply exposing a problem training never forces you to solve? Because once you understand that difference, everything starts making sense. And more importantly, you'll finally know how to fix it. Problem reframe. Most football players think training and matches test the same thing. They don't. That's the first mistake. Training usually tests execution. Matches test adaptation. Training asks, can you perform the skill? Matches ask, can you perform the skill while solving problems? That's a completely different challenge. Think about it. In training, you often know what's coming. You know the drill. You know the pattern. You know where the ball is likely going. You know the objective. But football matches don't give you those guarantees. Every moment is uncertain. Every touch contains new information. Every decision happens under pressure. And that's why players can look incredible on Tuesday and ordinary on Saturday. Not because their skill disappeared, because football demands far more than skill. Hidden cause. Here's the deeper issue. Most players are training their feet, but matches expose their processing. Let me explain. Imagine two players with identical technical ability. Same passing, same dribbling, same first touch. Now put them into a match. One player constantly scans, reads pressure early, recognizes patterns, predicts movement. The other reacts late, needs extra touches, processes information slowly. Who performs better? Almost always the first player. Not because they're more skilled, because they're solving problems faster. This is the hidden gap. Football isn't just physical, it's informational. And when information arrives too quickly, skills suddenly appear to disappear. The skill was always there, the processing wasn't. Let's break down the biggest reasons this happens. Mistake number 1. You're playing the ball instead of playing the game. Most players spend too much attention on the ball. The best players spend more attention on everything else. Watch younger players. The ball becomes their entire world. They're focused on controlling it, passing it, protecting it, dribbling it. Meanwhile, elite players are constantly collecting information before the ball arrives. Who's behind me? Where's pressure coming from? Where's the space? Who's moving? What's opening up? By the time they receive possession, the decision is already forming. This is why top players often look calm. Not because they're under less pressure, because they prepared earlier. Average players try to solve the puzzle after receiving the ball. Elite players solve most of it beforehand. And when you don't prepare early enough, the match starts feeling impossibly fast. The solution: start treating off-ball moments as active moments. Every few seconds, gather information. Train yourself to arrive prepared, not surprised. Mistake number 2. Training has fewer consequences. This is something most players never think about. In training, mistakes usually cost very little. Lose possession, the drill continues. Misplace a pass, no major consequences. Get beaten, the session moves on. Matches are different. Every action suddenly matters. A mistake can lead to a chance, a goal, a substitution, a loss. And whether you realize it or not, your brain knows this, which changes your behavior. Many players become more cautious, more hesitant, less expressive. They start protecting themselves from mistakes instead of trying to influence the game. Suddenly they're taking safer options, avoiding risks, playing not to fail. And that's often when their performance drops. Because football rewards commitment, not hesitation. The goal isn't eliminating mistakes. It's becoming comfortable making decisions despite consequences. The best players understand that mistakes are part of football. They don't spend matches trying to avoid them. They spend matches trying to solve problems. That's a huge difference. Mistake number 3. Your training technique in isolation. This might be the most common development mistake in football. A player spends hours improving technique, passing drills, Shooting drills, cone dribbling, first touch work, all useful. But then match day arrives, and they struggle. Why? Because technique doesn't exist alone in football. It exists inside situations, inside decisions, inside pressure, inside uncertainty. Imagine learning to drive. You could spend months mastering the steering wheel, the pedals, the mirrors, but eventually you need traffic. Football works the same way. A beautiful first touch isn't valuable because it's beautiful. It's valuable because it helps solve a game situation. The more isolated your training becomes, the harder transferring those skills into matches becomes. This is why players sometimes feel trapped. They keep improving technically, but match performances stay the same. The missing ingredient is context. Football skills become useful when they're connected to decisions. Mistake number 4, you confuse confidence with evidence. This is one of the most dangerous traps in football. Many players believe confidence creates performance, but often the opposite is true. Performance creates confidence. Here's what happens. You have one poor match. Now you're worried. The next match starts. You begin looking for evidence. Evidence that you're playing badly. Evidence that you're struggling. Evidence that something is wrong. A bad touch confirms it. A misplaced pass confirms it. A mistake confirms it. And now confidence drops even further. This cycle traps countless players, but top performers think differently. Instead of asking, "Do I feel confident?" they ask, "Am I executing my process? Am I scanning? Am I moving? Am I communicating? Am I competing?" They're focused on actions they can control, not feelings they can't. And over time, those actions rebuild confidence naturally. The biggest confidence killer isn't mistakes. It's constantly judging yourself while trying to play. Football becomes much easier when you focus on participation instead of evaluation. Mistake number 5. The match is demanding a different version of you. This is the realization that changes everything. Training rewards expression. Matches reward adaptation. In training, you often get to show what you can do. In matches, you must show what the game needs. Sometimes that means playing quickly. Sometimes patiently. Sometimes creatively. Sometimes simply. Many players enter matches trying to recreate their best training moments. But football doesn't work like that. Every game presents different problems, different opponents, different spaces, different pressures. The players who perform consistently aren't trying to repeat themselves. They're trying to solve what's in front of them. And that's why they look adaptable. Because they understand football isn't about forcing your strengths onto every situation. It's about adjusting your strengths to the situation. The game changes. So should you. Practical application. Let's make this practical. The next time you train, stop asking, "How can I perform this drill better?" Instead ask, "What information would exist in a match that doesn't exist here?" Then add it. Pressure, decision-making, competition, scanning, uncertainty. And before your next match, stop setting outcome goals. Don't focus on goals, assists, ratings. Instead focus on process goals. Scan before receiving. Communicate constantly. Recover immediately after mistakes. Stay involved. Demand the ball. These habits transfer far more reliably than confidence ever will, because confidence comes and goes. Good habits stay. The players who bridge the training match gap aren't usually the most gifted. They're the players who prepare themselves for football's complexity. Identity level close. Let's finish with something important. You are probably not as inconsistent as you think. Most players assume there's something wrong with them. They think they're mentally weak, or incapable of handling pressure, or somehow less talented than everyone else. But that's usually not the truth. The truth is much simpler. You've developed skills in an environment that doesn't fully resemble the challenge you're trying to perform in. And that's fixable. Because once you understand what matches are really testing, your training changes. Your preparation changes. Your mindset changes. You stop chasing confidence. You start building competence. You stop trying to feel ready. You start preparing properly. And eventually something interesting happens. The gap begins to shrink. The player who shows up in training starts appearing in matches. More often. Then more consistently. Then almost every week. Not because your skills suddenly improved. Because your ability to access those skills improved. And that's what separates talented players from effective players. So if you've ever felt like your football disappears on match day, remember this. The goal isn't becoming a different player. The goal is learning how to bring your real ability into the environment where it matters most. If this video helped you, subscribe for more football development content focused on the hidden reasons players struggle and how to fix them. And in the comments, tell me, what's the biggest difference between your training performances and your match performances? I'd love to hear your experience. Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more football stories right here on Game Plus.